Hi everyone, this is Adeolua, and you're listening to Musings of a Sanguine Christian Woman. And in this episode, I'm going to pick up one of the things that is on my mind, and which is not really what I wanted to talk about, but I'm trying to find, what I really want to talk about. Let me pick the one on top first. You know how it is that you stack things, but what you really want is like several steps down, and it would just create extra work for you if you pull what you want from under without taking off what you have on top. So that is what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm not one to talk about how good the entertainment industry is or the nuances in it, although it has come up once or twice. But I think this is a good time for me to, well, at least I think it is a good time for me to talk about it. And it is the Indian entertainment industry. It has been on my mind for a while, but I watched an Indian guy, thankfully, on YouTube who had English subtitles. Now, you see a lot, well, the ones I have seen on YouTube usually don't have, subtitles in English, and I can't really get too upset with them because apparently they don't mean they didn't create their content for non-Indians, but I really appreciate the guy. I think his name is Soch, like Soch. Soch. There is more to it than that, but I can't remember the rest. And he talks about, I think, cultural things. I just watched one of his videos and it sort of resonated with some of the things that are on my mind and helped me to understand some things better. And so when it comes to the entertainment industry, that is a world on its own, especially for those who work there. Mostly actors, well, not mostly, I mean, those who work there are numerous, obviously. But it's like, I would like to say it has a culture on its own, but it actually reflects it amplifies a lot of things in the society, like in an exaggerated way. Now, like most people, my first contact with Indian movies is Bollywood. That's my first contact, and I think and I thought, like most people still do, that Bollywood is the only entertainment industry or movie industry in India. But India is much more diverse and complex. In fact, complex probably more describes it than we know of. So it's not a monolith like some people will say, where it's not there is no one sentiment does not describe everybody there. And you will notice that if you've been exposed to their entertainment industry long enough, you realize that they try not to talk about how different they are, because obviously their differences have been used for the past thousands of years. Well, maybe not thousands of years. For the past maybe 2,000 or more years. Well, it's still thousands of years. Or maybe hundreds of years. Let's make it hundreds of years. For hundreds of years, the diversity of what it was of India, then Bharat subcontinent, has been a sore point for India. They've had so many people, if you can call them that, ride into and through India, looting and looting everything lootable, and just, wreaking havoc and spilling blood on the subcontinent, as the case may be. Of course, then you have issues of internal conflict where, and I think that's more of the issue, where they were always fighting among themselves, and as they were fighting among themselves, they did not see the common enemy that was advancing towards them. And by the time they knew that, it was almost too late to do anything but fight with the remaining strength that they have in them. So I guess now they've learned in a hard way that as diverse as they are, they have to become one to avoid a future another looting, because obviously India cannot handle another colonization, or whatever name conquerors like to call their presence in another man's land. They can't handle that anymore. I mean, they have not recovered from everything that has been taken from them, and so they are holding on to their language, they are holding on to their culture, because that is really what they have left for now. The riches of the land has dwindled, has been ripped off them by those who were stronger than them, who would not have been stronger than them if they have reserved their energy to to defending their land, as the case may be. Now, one might wonder, has this got to do with the entertainment industry? Well, it has plenty to do with the entertainment industry, because the entertainment industry sort of, it gives us a view of how their life was. If you are watching epic movies before now, hundreds of years ago, you see, for those who have watched Poros, I haven't. I mean, I watched the first episode and I was like, this is going to be bloody, and I understand the need for violence sometimes, but that doesn't mean I like it. So, that being said, I've watched quite a number of movies. I've watched Judah Akbar, the movie. I've watched Judah Akbar, like skipped episodes here and there of the serial, Judah Akbar, the series, and the Judah Akbar, the movie. So for me, Bollywood was like the only wood, as the case may be, until I just like, you know what, I was looking for inspirational Indian movies, because I don't know what I watched that just turned me off. Like there has to be my kind of movies in this whole in the whole of India. Like it can't be this same kind of storylines, But in their defense, not that I'm trying to defend them or anything, but there is always that one storyline per movie industry. It differs from place to place, right? There's the storyline that just get told over and over again with some tweaking here and there, but you can just see the storyline that is what it is, and then you keep seeing the same thing, different actor, different actress, but the same kind of storyline. And they just keep recycling that as if there are no more stories anymore, So it gets kind of tiring. So it was in my quest for looking for inspirational Hindi, not Hindi really, Indian movies. I think that was how I stumbled on Telugu and Tamil, or Tollywood, as I like to call it, but I'll just say Telugu or Tamil. And I think my first is the first movie I watched was, I believe it's called 26. So, and it was really like, I would like to watch that movie again, because it was deeply inspirational. It was about a woman who, found herself she was forced to find herself again. Like, her husband didn't respect her. Her daughter obviously also did not respect her. Why a daughter would not respect her mom is just beyond me. A mother who takes care of you, who takes care of your father, you know. I mean, that movie just showed that there are just some kids that may just be like the other parent, because obviously if one parent disrespects the other, chances are if you have more than one child, one of the children will disrespect the disrespected one, you know, because it's like the parents that is disrespectful. But so she found herself in the most interesting way, and I like the fact that she found herself in her hobbies. Like, that was where she found herself. She didn't suddenly become the CEO of a conglomerate or something. Like, she stopped her education somewhere, you know, and she just had to, like, she just found herself in something she was already doing, and she became a voice in that area. And she found herself through that, the expansion of that initiative. It was really interesting, motivational, especially for women. And I watched something similar to that storyline. I need to watch that again. That was really, really fun. I enjoyed it. And I did find inspiration, but I didn't find those inspirational movies in Bollywood. I found it in Telugu, or is it Tamil now? One of the two. And what made it really, really, I connected with it more because I saw a lot of black people there. Because I am Nigerian, I'm from Nigeria, rather. Well, some will call me Nigerian, some will say I'm from Nigeria, but I am black. Not black, but black, whatever. So, I'm not discriminative to the point where I feel odd or somehow when I watch movies from, or serials from other parts of the world. I mean, I don't think anyone can be as fair-skinned as Chinese people in their ancient dramas. I don't think so. Right? Like the skin is very, very pale. That is their, even a standard of beauty for them, that your skin is pale. And I've watched a lot of Chinese drama. Like, the core of their stories is not in the movies but in the drama, because then that is where they get to expand the story, and you really get to see all the nuances of the story. If it is a good story, okay, you get to see the nuances of the story there. So in case you're hearing a noise in the background, I'm stirring food with spatula, so it takes a little bit of elbow grease to do that one. Anyway, so as I was saying, that is how I ventured into the inspiration. That was what I was looking for, and I found it. Yeah, it was quite interesting. I also watched some short movies, you know, the kind of 20 minutes kind of movies. One that really stuck with me, well, maybe two, but the first one that really stuck with me was a girl that was very dark-skinned, and they were calling her Kali. Kali is another name, another name of one of their female idols there, like female idols that they worship in India, whose statue is mostly very black, like black, you understand? And so you would think that when they call someone Kali, they mean it in a referential way, like a way to reference somebody, like, wow, somebody that looks like a goddess, sort of. But instead is actually almost like an insult. I would never understand that part, but it is what it is for them anyway. So this girl had dark skin, and because she had dark skin, it was a problem for her marrying, like, men looking for wives, or families looking for wives for their sons wanted a woman that was fair skinned. So anytime she's been meeting several she's met more than a few prospects who did not go ahead with the relationship or start the relationship because she was dark skinned, and she was beautiful, like beautiful. What would I say? I could be called biased, but hey, it's a good bias, right? Her skin was dusky and beautiful, and for her, I think it's mostly because of how her mother handled the issue. Like, it's as if her mother was trying to hide the fact that she has a beautiful dark skin. Rather than being upfront about it, they sort of omit that part, hoping that if the prospect gets to meet her and see her for who she is, they wouldn't mind that she's dark skinned. And it didn't quite happen that way. And her mother, but that is the excuse, except that the mom and the aunties, anytime they hear that a prospect is on the way, they quickly go and get turmeric paste and whitening stuff to lighten her skin, as if they could actually do that. But this time, I think she just met somebody who was nice. The mother seemed like she didn't want a dark-skinned daughter-in-law, but the guy saw her and he liked her, and because she was used to being rejected so much, she had become a bit jaded. So when she was like, okay, I know I'm dark-skinned, and she was becoming defensive, and she's like, you need not explain. Besides, you're beautiful, and I like you. And for the first time, she looked at him with new eyes, and well, that signaled the beginning of a beautiful relationship. I think those are the kind of movies that need to come out where they show the reality of what happens to people who are being marginalized, but at the same time, they show that it's not everybody that is like that. And so when people see stories like that, they have hope that I'm only rejected by people that don't understand or don't value the gem that I am. Not all gems look the same, right? Some like sapphire more than they like emerald, and that doesn't make sapphire less of a gem or more of a gem than emerald. It just means they're different in their own beautiful way, right? I know sometimes it's a matter of preference, but this goes deeper than that. Because of the prejudices and biases that are attached to it. But for somebody who genuinely likes you, it's just a matter of like, and sometimes even preference, Maybe a guy just sees a dark-skinned woman, and that for him, he finds that attractive, not in an obsessive way, but a way that is just, a speck of some sort, not a fetish. So, that being said, one of the things, like I said, inspiration drew me there. The storyline of Telugu was brand new. Like, it's different, obviously, from Bollywood. And I guess it's because one is North Indian, one is South India. So their experiences differ. They might be under the same umbrella, India, but they have different languages too. Like, their language is different. The way of dressing is slightly different as well. Like, the way they dress is also slightly different. And there is no focus on like, there are a lot of dark-skinned people there, like I said, but as of now, I haven't seen a movie, a Telugu or Tamil movie. I haven't seen one where the heroine is dark-skinned. Now, we see other protagonists in a story, other characters in a story, people with that are not the main character, being dark-skinned and being even black-skinned. I see that a lot in Telugu and Tamil. But when it comes to the main character, especially the heroine, they're always fair-skinned. Even in Bahubali, as epic and as wow as Bahubali 1 and 2 movies are. Both the heroines in both stories are fair-skinned. They are fair-skinned, but you have a very beautiful dark-skinned adoptive mother of Bahubali's son, Bahubali Jr., if you may, of Bahubali Jr. Like, his adoptive mom is black skinned, beautiful, like when you see real black skin, you just like, wow. Even you that you have a little bit fairer, you almost wish that is your skin tone. It's very beautiful, but I haven't seen one where they are in the lead roles. The lead roles for females is usually fair. Of course, you have the lead role for males can be dark skinned though, right? But there are also darker skinned men that are not in the male lead. So I don't know what they're doing with this color thing. It's very, very deep into the culture of India, and I'm hoping that in the movie industry they might be able to change that status quo and not follow the traditional trends that are wrong, and not follow the not traditional trends really, but biases and prejudices that have become tradition, that they actually change it, right? For once, have a I don't know, a very dark-skinned man and a very dark-skinned woman as the main characters, for crying out loud. How difficult can that be? I mean, how difficult can that be? Oh, so yeah, that's it for anyone listening, watching, and you think that Bollywood is the only movie industry in India. Well, you need to explore. I've given you 26. Oh yeah, they have two storylines in Telugu. Well, not more than two storylines, but like the major ones when it comes to their fighting, their action movies though. When it comes to action movies, they have it in Telugu. Like, their action is just very, very if you like action movies, you will like their movies. Yeah, you like their movies. If you like gore, yeah, you also like their movies as well. The action movies are more technical, more fast-paced, more interesting to watch than that of Bollywood. Bollywood's fight scenes are usually very just slow motion and not much of any action. But then you can't blame me for saying that. If you've watched Chinese movies a lot or Chinese serials a lot, it sort of spoils you for any fighting scene you see anywhere else. I mean, if it's not as wow as that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like Bahubali. Like, the war scenes were just epic, let's just say. All right then, and see you in another episode. Guard your hearts with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Shalom.